Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, crypto traders and investors. It's Rod with Pow Group, your home for MJ Stocks, crypto assets, news and interviews. Today is Monday. It's September 8th. Happy Monday, and I hope you had a great weekend. We're going to do another rapid fire news update, this time for the period August 30th to September 5th. And again, it's just a high level overview in case you missed it. Before we get to it, make sure to smash the like. If you're new, you can subscribe. Take the bell, you'll be notified on any future content, and I post these videos each and every week. And as always, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. You can follow us over on X as well, formerly Twitter. The handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as one of my platforms of choice going forward. It was another heavy week this week, and it's an exciting time with U.S. potential, the Clarity Act, just around the corner. We could see it go into effect more than likely by the end of the month. Very high probability that it gets passed at some point between now and the end of October. And that's going to create clear rules of the road for a lot of these companies in the US. And one company that I'm super interested in the Web3 space is making waves right now. And there's going to be a $1,000 giveaway a little bit later on this week. I was going to do it late last week, but I had a busy weekend. And I'm going to plan to do it in the next few days. But essentially, you'll be able to get $1,000 worth of SST. And they're sponsoring today's video. And every $50 that you purchase with the link in the description or in the comment section, that'll give you one ticket entry. So if you buy $50, you get one ticket, $100, two tickets. And then, like I said, you can win $1,000 in SST. And here's a quick look at it. Before jumping in, I want to share with you a new and exciting crypto coin that I'm invested in called Sapphire Studios Token, otherwise known as SST. SST is in pre-sale now with over 100x potential, in my opinion, because it will be core to multiple of their Web3 games. These games are some of the most sophisticated on mobile, and Sapphire Studios is looking to achieve mass adoption by competing with some of the best and most addicting games ever created. Sign up using the link below to receive 30% bonus SST and a 200% bonus matched in Gold Ink player game packs. Now here's a quick 1-minute trailer video explaining it.
Hello, my name's Colin Stone and I'm here to talk to you today about my coin and game pick of the year. Do you ever wish you could have invested in billion-dollar market cap game coins like Axie Infinity at the start? Well, Gold Ink, a new game launching now, makes those look like they were made by a kid. The first Web3 real-time strategy massive multiplayer online game on mobile, and it's by far the most expansive Web3 game ever built. Its pre-sale is also at ridiculously low market cap, around $10 million, and they are just about to launch the full game. Mine and steal crypto that is redeemable for real gold. That's Gold Ink, adding the most addictive features from a lot of the most successful games on Earth, the best elements of games like Clash of Clans, Game of War, Pokemon Go, in an effort to make a super game to rule them all. The beta is available now in Google Play and App Store, and you can still take part in their coin distribution at a tiny market cap. Buy at the coin distribution now while it's at the lowest price and start mining it in the game. Beta users get significantly more SST for a short time. The launch price on exchanges is set at 5 times the current price, and its use cases are next level. Buy SST and play now.
Once again, sign up using the link in the description and the comment section and get 30% bonus SST and also 200% bonus in Gold Ink player game packs. This will help get you started. Just make sure to use the same email for SST and the game to help automate the process. Thanks to SST as well for sponsoring today's video. All right, welcome back. So like I said, it's super exciting, especially ahead of crypto regulations in the US, the biggest capital market in the world, the biggest economy in the world. It's really going to open the floodgates for what these companies, these developers and innovators can do. And it's an exciting time. Super bullish on SST long term. Jumping right into the news, Ondo Finance. Historic week ahead. September 3rd, they launched 100 plus tokenized stocks and ETFs that came on chain. They flipped the switch to more open, global, and accessible capital markets. So folks, I've been saying this for a while now. It's going to happen a lot sooner than many people think. Some people were saying, 5 years, 3 years, 10 years. By the time stocks all get tokenized and trade 24/7, 365, no more opening and closing bell. No, it's not going to take that long, folks. We've got some more information actually pertaining to this a little bit later on in the video. It's happening at breakneck speed. Vivo Partners, so Vivo Power, I've recently became a shareholder as well. I purchased this stock last week. I was waiting for a decent dip and we got one, so I might buy 2 or 3 more orders, but just wanted to be fully transparent there. Very bullish on the company long term. We know that they have an XRP and RLUSD treasury strategy. And furthermore to that, they partnered with Doppler Finance for institutional XRP and RLUSD yield programs to maximize returns on the crypto treasury strategy. So they've been making huge waves lately. Seems like every time you turn around, they're in the news. So very bullish on them long term. The Ether Machine announces additional 150,000 ETH, currently valued at $654 million, invested in kind by blockchain's founder Jeffrey Burns, ahead of the public market listing. And folks, this isn't a trend that's going to slow down anytime soon. It's going to accelerate like you wouldn't believe. And Jack Ma linked Yangfang Financial. They acquired $44 million of Ethereum amid Web3 push, and that's to support its expansion into Web3, real-world assets, and tokenized finance. Those are all huge categories at the moment. Also, Justin Thunes and Ripple have expanded their global partnership to further transform cross-border payments. And it seems like every time you turn around, XRP or Ripple are making huge waves as well. Not to be conflated, one's a company, one's a cryptocurrency, but very bullish on Ripple. Like I said, I do believe that Ripple will become the most valuable company on the planet, and then XRP will become the most valuable digital asset when it's all said and done. Also, the SEC and CFTC are set to allow spot trading of certain cryptocurrencies on U.S. registered exchanges. So folks, again, it's happening way quicker than many people ever anticipated. Also, urgent luxury retailer Mark Gebauer, I think is how you pronounce it, Lifestyle, they now accept XRP for Rolex and other high-ticket luxury items. So this is, again, folks, this is where the world's going. Also, XRP gets big nod from China as fintech giant leverages XRPL for supply chain applications. So again, it just seems like every time you turn around, it's XRP in the news or Ripple in the news. And yeah, you're going to see these treasury strategies just accelerate like you wouldn't believe. And then this one, I'm not so sure how I feel about it. Clean Core Solutions plummets after announcing Dogecoin treasury strategy. The cleaning company has raised US $175 million in a private placement from over 80 crypto firms. I can't imagine like in what world you'd want to have a Dogecoin treasury. It just doesn't make any sense to me. There's so many other cryptos that you could pick out there with more utility, and this one was literally created as a joke. So I don't know. Is it April 1st? Is this April Fool's Day? I don't know. This is strange times. I could have think of a million other ones that I would rather have. But yeah, it is what it is, I guess. But again, you're not going to see this trend slow down anytime soon. Also, 15 applications for XRP ETFs sit on the SEC's desk, and October deadline is the key. So right now, I think there's like 92 ETF applications, not for XRP, but for all coins in general. But I think there was actually like 18 or close to 20 for XRP. But just think of that. And then there's a bunch of basket ones as well that have XRP in it. So like the overwhelming majority of the ETFs that are set to be approved are predominantly XRP or have the XRP in them. And folks, this is going to bring in probably, I would say, half a dozen to a dozen $1 billion worth of net inflows into these ETFs. And they have to buy XRP is because it's a spot ETF, right? They have to own the underlying asset. Folks, this is going to catapult the price like you wouldn't believe. I would not be surprised if we got the approval before the October deadline. I think it's going to happen at some point in September where we'll get XRP altcoin ETFs, maybe Solana, there's a Litecoin one, Dogecoin, Sui, there's a few. There's even some more information coming a little bit later on with regards to Chainlink. But this is what's going to catapult alt season, in my opinion. You're going to see this, Bitcoin dominance dropping off a cliff. You've got rate cuts. You've got, like I said, altcoin ETFs. You've got so many things happening, treasury strategies, and folks, Clarity Act. There's so much to be bullish for here into the end of the year, and there's a good chance that it bleeds into the first quarter of 2026, in my opinion, as well. AlphaTon Capital unveils strategic Ton Reserve, which is Toncoin, with $38 million financing and $35 million loan facility. So again, you're just seeing, the Telegram integration, the Toncoin. You're seeing Dogecoin. You're seeing Ethereum. You're seeing Solana treasuries. It's not going to slow down, folks. It's only going to get bigger, and they might even add multiple different cryptos to their treasury strategies. Look at Vivo Power and XRP and RLUSD. Also, the Federal Reserve will host a Payments Innovation Conference on October 21st covering DeFi, stablecoins, AI, and tokenization. Folks, like I said, these next couple of months are going to be, you're not even going to recognize this space coming on the end of the year. Mark my words. Also, Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin is now available to institutions across Africa. So unlocking Africa, love to see it. Also, Blink charging to accept crypto payments at EV chargers, and that's set to become reality. And they're going to have different payment options for cryptocurrency by the end of 2025. So again, folks, this is where the world is going. and the train has already left the station. So it's either get out of the way or hop on board. Grayscale unleashes ETCO, Ethereum Covered Call ETF, and that targets bi-weekly payouts with a trade-off. So again, folks, you're seeing all kinds of different ETPs, different types of exchange traded products. You're going to see ETFs, you're going to see options. You got the 2Creum 2x leverage. You've got spot ETFs. There's going to be so much capital. And as we know, the XRP futures were the first ever. CME Group said that they were the first ever, the fastest ever, to reach 1 billion in open interest, folks. That is insane. Like, you have no idea the amount of pent-up demand that's coming. Also, the U.S. climbs to second in global crypto adoption. The U.S. jumped 2 spots from 4th in the previous report, trailing only India now. And again, I've said this, I talk about this all the time in the MJ industry. The U.S. will never be first, but they'll never be last. But they don't have to be first. They certainly don't want to be last, but they don't want to be first, and they don't have to be first because they have the biggest economy, they have the biggest capital markets in the world, and they will just leapfrog everybody. And look what just happened since one report. From the previous report to this one, they jumped into second spot. So again, folks, this is why you need to understand how the game is played and how markets in general work. And the same thing's going to happen with MJ stocks, right? The U.S. is so behind. We're almost we're legal for almost 7 years at the federal level here in Canada. And the U.S. still doesn't even have any clear pathway. But again, watch how quickly they'll catch up, just like they did in the crypto race. Also, speaking of crypto race, Eric Trump is probably at the forefront. Just became a billionaire through American Bitcoin and WLFI surge. So there's been a lot of, debate about this. There's been a lot of pushback and outcry. I personally don't think that there's anything wrong with Trump's sons being involved, but there certainly can't be any kind of insider trading or anything like that. I personally don't think that any kind of elected official should have any kind of meme coin. You got, Newsom, Gavin Newsom in California doing his own meme coin now. So I think it's a bit ridiculous. I don't think that should be allowed. Like, obviously regulate meme coins, but I don't think anybody running in office should be allowed to do that. It's not a good look in my opinion. The optics are bad, and yeah, in my opinion, I think any kind of president, love him, hate him, whatever it is, whatever side of the fence you're on, I don't care if you're left, right, red, blue, yellow, whatever it is, polka dot, anybody who's the president shouldn't be having their so much involvement into the crypto space, in my opinion, and especially until there's clear rules and regulations and everything drafted. Like, why is it that Ripple got fined and sued, right, in a lawsuit against them, and they did absolutely nothing wrong? And the SEC even admitted that. They basically walked away with just a slap on the wrist and a very small fine compared to what it initially was. They were seeking over $1 billion, and they got I think maybe a fifth, like 5% of that. So it's just it's unfair, but as we know, that's just the way the game is played, folks. And if you can't handle the heat, you may as well step out of the kitchen. XRP will never crash 90% again, says Digital Ascension CEO. I would have to agree with that. I think it could, maybe depending on how high we go, right? If it goes to like $100 this cycle, which I'm not expecting, I think somewhere around the $15 to $25 is the most likely scenario. But if it did go to $100 in like a few months, which is not impossible, it could happen. If that happened, then yeah, it could absolutely crash 90%. But if it goes to like $20 or $15 this cycle, I highly doubt we're going to see a 90% correction. I'd be loading the boat again if it dropped 70%, 60%. So I'm sure there's a lot of people, especially with ETFs coming online and different treasury strategies and countries and central banks. It's just, I can't see it, 70%, 80% maybe, but there is a thing called law of diminishing returns. And generally with the less returns, you have less volatility to the downside. Less volatility to the upside means less to the downside. It's just, again, look at Amazon. Go back to 2001 when it crashed 95%. Well, it would never crash 90% now, right? The world would have to basically end for that to happen, right? Also, ACO, this is nuts. Their shares surged 5,600% today on a $270 million WorldCoin treasury raise. This thing closed, I think it was $1, it was like $1.45. I'm pretty sure it was like $1.50 on Friday close. And today it hit like $83 or something. It was up 56x. So that means if you invested $1,000 into it on Friday, today you would have had $56,000 at the peak. But obviously, no one has a crystal ball. I'd be very, very cautious. It was already down like 50% just from the high of the day to after hours. Also, the NASDAQ has asked the SEC for rule change to trade tokenized stocks. Folks, like I said, it's happening at breakneck speed so fast. The NASDAQ has filed for a rule change with the SEC that would allow regulated exchanges in the US to trade tokenized stocks. And just wait, there's more information coming in just a moment. Morning Minute, Robinhood makes the S&P 500 while MicroStrategy gets skipped. I think that was, I'm just going to golf clap here because, yeah, MicroStrategy, that can float. And has no business being the S&P 500. That would be the stupidest move. I'm so glad that they skipped this. And then, yeah, Robinhood should definitely be in there. So kudos for all those that didn't make that happen, because MicroStrategy should not be in there. Also, Putin's advisor claims the U.S. could use Bitcoin and crypto to wipe out its $35 trillion in debt. Folks, that was the plan all along, okay? These stable coins, they're going to unlock I think it's like a quarter of the world don't even have a bank account, right? So it's called financial inclusion. You're going to unlock access to all these, to this dormant capital, like Nostra Vostro accounts and cross-border payments. You're going to replace SWIFT. Everything's going to transfer at the speed of light. Eventually it's the internet of money, right? So eventually money will move as fast as information. But stable coins are pegged 1-to-1 to the US dollar if it's a US stable coin, right? So when these people from Africa or Asia who didn't have access to a bank account just have it on their cell phone now and they buy a US stable coin, well, guess what? The issuer has to hold those reserves. So it's going to prop up the US dollar, folks. This was the plan all along. And in my opinion, the NSA, it was the US government, probably in courts with a few other governments, and they created Bitcoin, and they created it out of thin air. And they probably are Satoshi, and they're sitting on, hundreds of billions of dollars, and eventually be hundreds of trillions, more than likely. And that'll pay off the debt, and then all these stable coins as well, folks. It's the writing's on the wall. I have no doubt in my mind. Anybody who tries to tell me any different, good luck here. I've been studying this space for over a decade now, and about a decade now. And yeah, no one could change. Not even Elon Musk could come here to knock on my door and try to convince me. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that that's why it was created and who created it. Also, Chainalysis expands XRP Ledger functionality by adding support for automatic token recognition. And we've got a couple more news pieces here. Grayscale files with the SEC to launch a US spot Chainlink ETF. So again, folks, altcoin ETFs galore coming down the pipeline. You also got the U.S. House Committee on Financial Services calling for the Senate to pass Crypto Clarity Act, market structure bill. So again, it's more than likely going to happen by the end of the month, if not in October. But you're already seeing it. You got there's so much happening, folks. Robinhood, you got the whole thing with the NASDAQ asking the SEC for a change of rules for tokenized stocks. You got Robinhood getting into tokenized stocks and Coinbase. And folks, it's happening very, very quickly. And 2026 might look completely different in terms of global finance and world markets. But let me know your thoughts and opinions on this in the comment section below. Make sure to check out the links for SST. Again, that $1,000 giveaway in SST will be given to a lucky winner a little bit later on this week. So check out the link in the description and the comment section. It's Rod with Powell Group. Thanks again for joining us in the pursuit of wealth, and we'll see you again on the next video.